Thank you for coming to my channel. I appreciate that very much. Here I am in my new apartment. Things are not organized as I'd like them to be at this time. I am a Booktube newbie. This is a Booktube Newbie channel. I have had this channel for a while. It was pretty much a channel devoted to chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. I am a Buddhist. I've been a Buddhist since 2007, and I'm going to change the content of it. I hope that my subscribers continue to stay with me. Maybe 2 years ago, I uploaded a number of faceless videos on chanting primarily for an hour. Chanting is very beneficial. I have been practicing Buddhism since 2007, and I have benefited tremendously. So, I'm here today to just introduce myself on camera. This is one thing I thought I'd never do, is show my face, and here it is. And I'm hoping that as a result of showing my face, I get monetized. I have big hopes and big dreams. So this will now become my Booktube channel. Now, with this change in content, especially during the month of October, my birth month, I hope that you continue to subscribe, continue to stay with me. It is my hope that I will get more subscribers and views. If you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe and please smash the like button. Initially, I thought I would review books on meditation, concentration, spiritualism, Buddhism, novels primarily in those areas, if possible. Transformation. Let's see here. I've always been passionate about books. If I ever moved, and I've moved a lot this year, my books were the first thing to be boxed up and moved. I have to have my books with me. If anything, it's got to be my books. So, I have very old books, some from school, and some that are autographed copies. I love those. In essence, I'm a writer. I've always loved writing. I have unfinished manuscripts that I would like to finish when I obtain the freedom of doing so, and I'm hoping that being here on YouTube will give me that second income so that I'll have the freedom to relax and write and read and sing. I have another talent, which is something I want to do more often, which is singing. I have a repertoire of jazz songs and jazz standards that I adore and love. I'd like to give more energy to that part of my character. I studied tap dancing for a number of years, and I thought I would one day monetize my tap dancing, but I don't think tap dancing is very popular right now, and I thought I'd find some sort of creative way to use the tap dancing skills I have. Now, my skills are not as good as they used to be, but I still do a mean double time step. I studied with Mr. Eddie Brown, who was a legendary hoofer, and I learned his BS course, and I did that for a number of years in his class. Now, one thing I did not know was what was the meaning of BS. And it's kind of weird that I did not put that together, but I guess I was focused more on tap dancing. He was a character. That guy would teach class and have a little bottle of whiskey over in the corner. of the classroom. He was a joker. I loved him. So, Mr. Eddie Brown. Now, my channel, I don't know if it's going to be unique. It will be different for me, having my face all splattered on it. So, let me pull up my script here. All right. Now, one thing I used to do a lot of, and I just glorified watching book TV on C-SPAN. That was one of my most favorite things to do, to listen to authors talk about their books. I really, really loved that book TV. I often dreamt about going to book conferences, which I hope to do more of. I've only been to a few, so I would love to do something like that. Where do I read? I will read anywhere. I often will have a book when I don't have the opportunity to read, just in case I have some downtime while I'm out and about. I've got a book that I can just dive into. I love books. So where do I read? I read before going to bed. I will take 3 or 4 books to bed with me, which is weird. And I may read for 30 minutes and I'm off to sleep, but I just love my books. I loved libraries. When I was in college, I spent a lot of time doing my work in the library, and it was like a candy store to me. So I love libraries. The challenge will be the challenge is, as I stated, is to be here with you on a weekly basis, discussing what I've read, the benefits of it, the writing that I've read, how it impacted me. I will talk about many aspects of each book. What do I remember the most about reading? Well, my very first memory of a book that I read that really stayed with me for a long time was by Kathleen E. Woodwist. It was a great story, Ashes in the Wind or something like that. I just loved it. It was pretty much a romantic story. There was another book. I cannot remember the name of it, but it captivated me. So I'm looking for books like that on romance, and let's see here. So I'm looking forward to increasing my knowledge about the world as I read about relationships and people and places and things. Here are some books that are on my shelf right now, and the book I'm reading most right now, or have read mostly. I think I've discussed it. This was discussed in my previous video, and it's called A Religion of One's Own. I'm finding this book very, very entertaining, talking about creating your own religion in a guide to creating a personal spirituality in a secular world. It talks a lot about how religion is not practiced as it once was, and people are not as focused on religion, but we do need religion in our lives. I actually love this book. I plan to give you a better synopsis of my reading and the notes I've taken in it so far. So I've read a chapter. I've read the introduction, which is so interesting, so filled with interesting quotes. I am enchanted. So I will get back into the book and give you more information about it, or just what I feel about it and why I feel the way I feel about it. So that's A Religion of One's Own by Thomas More. The next book I've been reading for a while now, I'm just trying to get back to it. It's a book by Nora Roberts. She is very prolific. And this is a great little story about a promiscuous, precocious young woman, very, very intelligent young woman who has a unique lifestyle upbringing. Her mother treats her like she is, I really can't tell you more about it because it's been a while since I've taken a detour and been reading Thomas More, but the story, I'll just give you this little thing here. It's a story about a young woman by the name of Elizabeth Fitch. It talks about her short-lived teenage rebellion and how it began with a pair of scissors and fake ID, which ended in blood. So, yes, she witnessed a murder, and very young girl who was destined to go to Harvard, very, very intelligent, and she's pretty much working her own case along with the investigators who are protecting. She's in protective custody. So, very interesting. I just love the way she is. Her intelligence is really captivating and interesting. I have been reading, and I've had this book for ages, James Baldwin, Going to Meet the Man. I've had this book forever, and when I bought it, it was only $1.70, but it was it's a used book, and from a half-price books in Berkeley, California. Now, I've been to some great bookstores. Moe's Book, which is very, very historical there in Berkeley, California. And this was bought, I believe, maybe it wasn't bought at half-price books on the corner of, Shattuck and what is the name of that street there? But love that bookstore. I've read this one. I want to read it again. This is it's about Wynton Marsalis and jazz and the bittersweet blues of life. Very good story about the band being on tour and traveling around the world playing jazz music, which is universal. And I absolutely love this. So I'm going to give you another better book review on this later. I'm going to be reading Reaching Beyond, which is Herbie Hancock, a jazz pianist, and Wayne Shorter, who had a conversation with President Daisaku Ikeda. And I look forward to reading this and sharing this with you. I've had this for at least 2 or 3 years on my bookshelf. Now, this is a book from school. I stole this book. I just couldn't resist it. I was so into prose when I was in junior high school. And I went to a high school and just visited a high school in Houston called Sterling, which was in South Park, which I don't know if it's still there, but this book was on someone's desk. And I could not resist it. I was so into prose. But it's a book on essays, and essays with follow-up questions about the essay. I love things like that. So not every essay is to my liking, but most of them are, and the writers are well-known writers. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you as well. This is a book I've had on my bookshelf for ages here, and it's called The Culture of Narcissism. And man, is this apropos for this time of our lives. So many narcissists in our lives today. And I hear people using this term, and I just wonder if they know. Are they using it correctly? This is a very good book. To tell you the truth, I've only read the first chapter, and I just was blown away. But I'm sure it's going to continue to reward me with very good information about narcissism. Now, this is a book that I've completed. Now, is 50 Shades of Grey. I had no idea what this book was about when I first picked it up. I just wanted to have something for my Booktube channel. And when I found out what it was about, I was somewhat stunned. After reading it completely, I didn't really like the way it was written in certain areas. I just found that it was redundant, repetitive. The romantic part wasn't developed well enough for me. I didn't feel, well, I guess it wasn't about love, but in the end, she made it about love, but he was never into making the whole sexual thing about love. But it would have been nice if they had developed her feelings about romance more. E.L. James had maybe done something with the writing to make me feel, to pull me in to the romantic side of this novel, which wasn't there, but yet it was interesting. I'd never heard of something like this, contracts for sex. But there's more to be said about this book. I'm just sharing with you the books I've read recently, and I will be better at describing what I feel about the book as I get more into sharing with you online. So here is my last book I'm going to share with you, although I do have others that I've purchased and have begun to look through. This is a very interesting story. I have a niece. She's my grandniece, and she's a great dancer. And I was inspired to read Misty Copeland's story. And man, oh my God, I used to love dance. I studied Afro-Haitian. I studied tap dance, as I said, but Misty's story just was fantastic. And this is a book I'd like to read again. This is a young adult book, or young readers. It is for young readers. Now, I would like to read the adult version if there is one, but man, I could read it again. So there you are. There's my story, my story about starting a Booktube channel. And as I said, I hope you come back, and I hope you subscribe. I really do. And I really, really cherish books. And maybe this is where I should have started instead of my Matching Birthdays for Happiness is a very good channel. It's something I've developed over the years, and I had to get it out of my system. I have a book on Amazon about Matching Birthdays for Happiness. So please visit that channel and subscribe. I'll be uploading there as well. It won't be, it will still be faceless, but I will upload there more often as well now that I have moved into my new place, and look forward to you coming back to my channel. Thank you.